and feel the pulse of our people. And when we decided so, we felt for it must not be a one-way engagement. The various sectors, putting forward your views, your thoughts about this organization. All of us know what the origins of the ANC are. ANC le athewa ke magoshi le baruti le bao ba ne ba rutegile ka nako yona eo. And ha ba ne ba ethea ANC, they wanted it gore e be mokgatlo o tla emelang batho ka mokana bona in South Africa. So in many ways, when we engage with our traditional leaders, when we engage with our religious leaders, and yes, when we engage with all sectors of society, including the traditional healers, sporting organizations, business organizations, professionals, people who are at the professional level, students, women's organizations, you name it, when we engage with them, we are essentially going back to the roots of what the ANC is all about. Because the ANC, till today, we are 1912, and throughout the years, we've always said we are an organization that is going to be more biased towards the ordinary people in our country, but in particular, the working class in our country. So that is the character of the ANC, and the way is living up to that history, Yarena really ANC. So for Rena, we are truly humbled. Right? Koko betsa hore lipile nako hore lebe hona mo mamuta. Maobani rene really kwa skukuni. And referite letsatsi ka mokana lona le the Queen Mother tlapura ya phahla. The Queen Mother wilara hare ya moshate hatulare abare na president mamuta ke tsamalwe wa bona how the president o le monna wa mme abare mina ngihamba nawe awuna chance ya oroka okabale. For Queen Mother will are President mina ngihamba nawe namhlanje. Hey kaya amukhela. So ke spendile the whole day Comrade Nathi. I'm happy with bongekho bozoba nomona wena ngiyawazi. But beyond that, really panako ukopana go ya mshateng wa Tulare wa Nkadimeng, but we also met traditional leaders ka yona tsela e re kopane le lena ka yona. Hona le bao ba re wa re sa ya mshateng o ke taba ya program fela. Program ya rena e tsamaya at a fast pace. Ha re fetsa mo re tshwantse re ye meeting wa National Executive Committee e tla bang e shebile January 8 statement e lokisa botse gore ka di 8 re kgono go publish. So go ntse go ne le mmereko montsi, so le ska nyatsa ba bang ke kwele gotwe a pele tsa bona di botlhoko gore a ra kgono fitla meshateng ya gona mo Waterberg. But what I wanted to demonstrate, Kore, yesterday and today, we were truly humbled by the enormous presence of our traditional leaders, of our religious leaders. Comrade Chupu Matabata Uila Arbogonna, are the president, ntwe ya thoma go etsagala gore ha re kgopela gore magoši a be gona ba tlile ka bontši ba bona a ba romela batho ba bang kapo di-representatives or balata ba bona ba tlile ka bona ka sebele are this is really unprecedented. Le mamotha re a le bona gore many of you are here, and I'd like that all of us should give a round of applause to all the religious and the traditional leaders who are here. Maubani, the traditional leaders, they were quite straightforward in putting forward their views. But the one thing that I liked, the president, mo di kgweding tse fetileng re ne re ntse re le di-group go na le di-factions ka mo harareng ba re ba feditše ka ntho ya di-factions ba bone gore ntho ya di-factions a e thuse nix ba tshwantse gore ba kopane ba sebetse mmogo and ba kopane le rena ba sebetsa mmogo. So I want to spread that message. Spread that message not only for Mulaeta or Filwenki, the traditional leaders, but also for all other organizations. It is other than the globular interests of the organization. Le rona mo ANC rena le bona bolwetsi bona bono. So na ke moruti o mogolo ke nna Archbishop acting against infection. Ke nna Archbishop ke ngaka e kgolo ke bua against defections. Ke re defections a di fele. Re sheba re shumisane la o no sa rate motho mo tshware ka letsogo le re mo re kopantshwe ke mokgatlo o mogolo a re shumisane and re kgone hwetša tsela of being able to unite and to work in the interests of our people and obliterate factions, destroy groupings. Rona now we control this organization. And this is what the traditional leader said to me yesterday, the Premier Warena, and I was very proud. Here, traditional leaders organized under their organization, Controlesa, are telling us they are obliterating factions. And I immediately said, that is also my mission in the African National Congress. The factions, we will obliterate whatever factions that there are, even in the African National Congress. So, this consultation is very important for us. Kukile Muruti are Babata engagement. And that is very true. We do want engagement, and it should not be a one-way street. Yes, the engagement needs to be deeper, and we need to do a follow-up. But of course, we've got to make time and make sure that we do engage, because there are many issues. As we heard yesterday from our traditional leaders, and as we have heard today from our traditional leaders and religious leaders, that there are, and of course, traditional healers, which we need to be talking about. But what I do want to say is to confirm to you all that as the African National Congress, we are determined to continue engaging. And we will do this at a national level, it will be done at a provincial level, and it will also be done at the regional level and at the local level. Babanti ba ne ba bolela ka district development model, and district development model e ke yona e re fang platform e botsi ya gore re kgone ho engage. Ka hobane ha re batla gore re die dintho, we must engage, we must be talking to each other. Now we know, and I want to applaud you all for the work that you do, because you do enormous work in our communities, both at a religious level, at a traditional level, and also at a healing level. You are well connected with our communities, and the African National Congress must therefore also be well connected with you, so that we have a situation where we are able to work together. And I like the sound of that, because when we came up with the concept ya Tumamina, it took off. But Babanchi, they never really realized hore. Tumamina, it means hore omulo mungwarena warumiwa. Rilera itohela fela hore ki leadership. Ke Ramaphosa fela orumilwe. We did not cascade it downwards to say that all of us are sent. And this is particularly so hare lebella matata when we look at the challenges that our country is going through right now. We've got lots of challenges, nearly on every front. We've got COVID-19, it's a major challenge. We also had corruption scandals that accompanied a major health challenge that we had to deal with. And it engulfed quite a number of our own people, and thousands of people putting their fingers into money that was supposed to be utilized for PPEs. And then we've got the economic challenge as well. Massive loss of jobs as a result of the pandemic. And this happened all over the world. But our unemployment was already at a high level. It just made it worse. It made our unemployment worse, and we've got a huge burden, unemployment and a slow-growing economy. And then we had a number of other constraints. Constraints is eternally bo ESCOM. Constraints eternally infrastructure, and many other constraints, study reforms which we were supposed to have embarked upon many years ago. So when you look at all this, and then you add the challenges that we had in July when there was unrest in Gauteng and KZN, where there was just wanton destruction of property. And otherwise the problems are in our faith. Parliament iacha and icha ibe fair. To know there's another entity, constitutional court, so it's a broad spectrum of challenges and problems. What does it need? It needs, yes, leadership, but it also needs us to work together, because South Africa is our common heritage, is our common country. We therefore need to work together and to say to ourselves, do we give in, cow down, or do we stand up and say we are going to defend the gains that we've made? We are also going to say, send me. Omolomong are Romana, because I want to do the work. And this is the message that I'm getting today. Yes, Baruti Bari. We read the message wa Romarina, And why don't we do that once again? So even as we are grappling with these complex challenges, and sometimes we disagree amongst ourselves about a whole number of things. Kamani, arat alwanke batswadi bati. We are different perspectives, different views, but in the African National Congress, we have evolved a common view of what needs to happen in the country. But we are bound by a common goal to serve the people of South Africa. And for as long as we hold fast to that shared objective, then there is no problem that is insurmountable. There is no disagreement that cannot be resolved. So much as we may have all these challenges, disagreements amongst us, different ways of approaching that, we should all know, or yes, we are bound by a common goal of ensuring that we do build a South Africa that is non-racial, that is democratic, that is non-sexist, that is prosperous, that will deliver a better life to all of us. So we should really look at a national conversation so that whatever we resolve reflects the views and the wishes of the people of South Africa. And so today you have raised a number of important issues, which the Premier said maybe I should touch on. You have raised the issue of water. Now, water is a major problem. In our country, we are a water-scarce country. Now, last year, I appointed Comrade Senzo Mkhunu as the Minister of Water and Sanitation, and separated what we originally thought were linked functions, separated human settlements from water and sanitation. And now water and sanitation stands on its own. And through the various initiatives that we're embarking on, and Minister Mkhunu is leading us on, he has already been here in this province more than 6 times. 6 times, and utterly the engineers, utterly the technicians, really go what is it that we can do? Earlier, Hanaki, before it's Enamo, I had a discussion with the chair of our region, of course the Premier as well, the MEC and the Mayor, about the challenge of water in this area. And we think that solutions can be found. And in fact, the solutions are there. And all that remains is that we must implement those solutions. Now, are they going to be implemented? The answer is yes. Why do I say so? We've now moved forward to ensure for it. We are going to appoint people who are capable. Batho ba tsebang mmereko, iseng difofu, iseng batho ba sa di boneng. We are going to appoint people ba tsebang mmereko ba nang le a clear vision, who are going to consult and who are going to ensure that the problems are solved. I give you a very good example. Taba ya di potholes tsamo Mahwelereng and in this town as well. Premier utlile, and he told me gore December onale mo o bone di pothole are koloi ka kena e felle ka mo hara pothole e nyamalle completely. But now, because we have appointed a mayoral committee and a mayor, brand new mayor, Ore Motsentseng, who is young, who is energetic, and ke thomo mmona Mamota o apere le sutu e ntjha wa bona gore ke meya ra ka nnete ke ena o thulane ema ba o bone monna ke ena o and la mona le ena o pilanyana la o. So he's gone into the task le ba ba shuman le with a great deal of energy, and this is now the change that we are coming up with. Kabane re rumaena re kwena thumamina wa rona ke the change that we wanted to see post our local government elections. Gore botlhaswa bole ba khale le bogodu bole ba khale le corruption e le ya khale e fele a shumele setšhaba go bonagale gore o tla shuma, and he has assured me, our president, into ya di pothole hour, we are going to attend to it. Taba ya ditsela, we are going to attend to it. So already there's now a new breeze. A new breeze. We've got a new mayor, a new team at Ashumang Leona, and he knows we want to focus on precisely the issues that you have been raising. Baruti raises the issue of corruption. The issue of corruption is eating the nation, and he and his team know. This was the place where corruption resided. And bana ba bolaya le batho go swa motho gona mo. He knows what his mandate is. Mandate ya gagwe gore we must clean up this place. Mogalakwena must become clean. Lenna I am going to focus my attention or gore go etsagalang mo Mogalakwena na. I'm going to focus because the community, as you are here, you have made it very clear to us. And I think it was one of the traditional leaders with that ANC eribona isetse ifetogile. Ke ANC ya batho who are looking after their own interests. And ya re makatsa ANC ebya. Rairata ANC. But we don't like this ANC where people are looking after their own interests. So mandate is clear, and the mandate is clear of the new leadership here in this municipality. Yes, the mandate is very clear in the region, in the province as well. We want to obliterate corruption. Mokgatlo wa rena must not be defined as mokgatlo wa corruption. Batho ba re ha ba lebella ANC ba re corrupt. No, we want the ANC to be defined as an organization, integrity. So you spoke, you want to change this. You also spoke about service delivery. Service delivery, we identified it as one of the weak areas of our work. We admitted, yes, we have not provided the delivery of services as our people would have wanted. Premier Waruna proved that in December when he was here in this area where he grew up. Pothole. But we let half and spoke to the mayor, and we've already started seeing movement. In a short space of time, we are seeing movement. And so service delivery is going to be improved. And we want to improve service delivery throughout the country. And we are very serious because we know we let our people down. by not providing services. And if, for instance, the challenge is shortage of funding and money, we must be honest enough and go to our people and say, "Chelete are nayo, mare re batla ho lokisa pothole e le ela, re tla thoma ka e, next time re tla tla mo e," and so forth. That level of transparency, that level of openness to our people is going to be what is important. So, Baruti Babuile ka the church side, this is a problem throughout the country. And I think for more, the engagement between our municipalities and our religious community is going to be important. Kabari, we do need, and you make a point, Yahore, Hubula di tavern all over, the Shebini di Abulwa, and all manner of things, Maridikereke Adibuli. So there needs to be that collaboration between our municipalities, and we are going to be raising the issue with them in a direct and pointed way. Yes, lebuile ka 350 rand gore baruti a ba hwetša 350 rand. Well, 350 rand it's meant for batho ba sa shomeng, ba sa amogeleng all together. And that is the requirement. COVID-19 really is impacting negatively on people who are not earning anything. To try to cushion, but barena who are not earning anything, rather let us, much as Risna Chalet, much as we are short of resources, and we have to go and borrow more and more. And Chalet Yamu Patara di Kolo to Inzea Kwaudibulu Librare. Aren't saying enyenyan 350 refe bao basashumi. So how to asashumi and you have no income, so you qualify. You qualify, you've got an ID, and they can check everything. And let me tell you, they've been checking everything meticulously. And by checking them meticulously to a point where there were some 30,000 civil servants. Ba amogelang tšhelete mmuso, ba ileng ba apply le bona. Just imagine wa gola kgwedi le kgwedi, o ya o ilo apply, o nagana o tla hwetša 350. Ba ile ba ba swara batho bao ba hwetša gore up to 30,000 or so. While o apply la 350, o kwalla chance ya motho o mong o sa amogeleng anything. So my answer to that, kia hore 350 kia batho ba sa shomeng. Maobane really kwa mushate nkadimeng. Ke kwele batho ba bantši ba bolela ba re President 350. Kare yo ya ratiwa 350. Hello, eba le pause ka ba bang ba nka 350 ba ile ishumisa ba ile no abyala. Are half it so no abyala motho wa teng. Are hai Ramaphosa ke a morata. Ompa 350 mahala ke sa shumi. And ya no ke no abyala ka yona. So that is where it becomes counterproductive. Kabaniki tšhelete tshwantseng gore e thuse batho. Now, we don't want to turn our religious leaders into funeral undertakers. We will admit maybe we did not pay enough attention on assisting and supporting our religious leaders. We've talked about it and agonized about it quite a lot. And it's something that we do need to talk to our religious leaders about, because there are so many. When we did just a rough calculation, which there would be something like 300,000. But then we did not have the resources. How could we be of assistance? And we must thank our religious leaders. I want to thank you now and applaud you for the unbelievable work of our religious leaders throughout the country during a very difficult time. And you, more than others, you took the risk. In the end, you had to go and bury them. But more importantly, you also had to go and cancel them. You had to go, Bishop Lekhanyana, President Kiakwa, right at the beginning of COVID-19, yes, it's we must cancel them and so forth. So that we pray for them, and we were able to process that. So Mushumodi Ilueng gave our religious leaders is absolutely essential, and I want to give you a huge round of applause for that. And I also want to applaud you for Mushumo, which has been done by our religious leaders on gender-based violence and femicide. This is a major challenge that our country faces. I have dubbed it the second pandemic, and it is a second pandemic because much as we've spoken about it, it just carries on. Banna ba bolaya bat ba fumahadi ukareki kiripofo on an ongoing basis. And when you think, no, we've had the most horrific story, another one emerges, and where women and young girls are being slaughtered and killed in this way. We must mount a massive campaign against gender-based violence and keep it on the radar of the nation like we are keeping corruption now. Now, one of the problems is that there are many projects that we want to embark upon. But more, and Limpopo is a very good example of that. A big example, and it's important for Rukwisisa, for Limpopo EMI. Big problem where we've got all these big dreams. We've got all these major projects which we want to embark upon. But at the same time, Kawani, chelete hona ainji hakala. So the allocation tse tswang go national. And it high fitla fela mo Limpopo. High fitla fela officing ya Chupu. He already knows for 87% ya budget ya health must immediately go ilo patala the health workers with immediate effect. 82% ya education must immediately go ilo patala the salaries of teachers and educators. Now immediately that creates a problem. A problem ya hore dikolo tsa rena mo Limpopo. Limpopo is one of the areas where our schools are really in bad shape. Right from the north, right coming through to the south. We need massive resources to revamp our schools, and Comrade MEC Bushielo has got all these wonderful plans, Tsahobalidi mining schools, health schools, and so forth, which she says we need to build, and we support her completely. But we also need to look at the envelope. Envelope as it arrives. More healthy, sala 13% fela ya budget. Yahuilo ahadi di petle. Yahuilo ahadi clinic. And more education, more or less the same. So these are some of the areas that we need to focus on. But it does not mean and I want to say or I like the approach that has been used for this engagement. It's been an approach airing arishume more. Let's all work together. It's slightly different from yesterday's approach. Approach ya Maobane, it was a bit rough. Who Lathelwa Maswika and all that. Markia, I want to applaud you for your approach is we want to work with government. All three of you organizations that spoke here. The traditional healers, le refile memorandum, na le premier, and memorandum we will look at it and we will come back to you. And sometimes we don't come back at the time that you want, but we will come back. Kawani, Mushumo wa Muso is quite complex and involved. As traditional leaders, we've heard you, and I want to thank you for you have raised your issues in the most constructive way. Constructive way that enables us for Rishume Moho, and we are determined to do that. The Comrade Chupu here at this level, because the issues that you have raised are quite important. And with the religious leaders, of course, you have raised all the key issues. Let me quickly talk about one of the issues that you raised as traditional leaders, the issue of land. The issue of land, as we know, is quite complex. And land reform program, and we propelled an amendment to our constitution in Parliament that did not go through in line with what our conference in 2017 decided. But that does not mean that the ANC is going to turn back from embarking on a rigorous land reform program that is going to make sure that the land of our forebears is returned to the people of our country. That one we are going to go ahead with, and it will happen. So we are still determined to go ahead with that. On this issue at the CPA, Community Property Associations, it is a program that we are going to review because it has, yes, indeed, caused enormous problems throughout the country. It has also marginalized traditional leaders. As we have implemented it, we have now removed the role of traditional leaders who have historically, as you correctly said, been the custodians of the land of our people. But we must, however, admit that along the way, Honebao, who started trading in land at exorbitant prices, because they could see that, there's cash to be made. So we then need to look at the issue of community property associations and look at the issue of communal land and look at the issue of the return of the communal land to our traditional authorities who have always overseen the land and also had custody of the land. So all these matters we will want to work with you on. Yesterday I spoke about how we desire to work with our traditional leaders in development. How we develop our infrastructure all around. Reberi shumisana with our traditional leaders. We must embark on something that's positive, that is going to involve our traditional leaders, because we take a view for our traditional leaders' objective, but in the end is to advance the interests of our people. So all of us must then join hands in advancing the interests of our people, because that is the fundamental issue that we need to focus on. So today, kita tohamo Waterberg, filled with a great deal of confidence that here, Premier Chupu, we have people, various organizations that are determined to work with the African National Congress-led government, led by you here in the province, led by Comrade Maurice Mataboge here in the region, and also led by ourselves at national level. And I must end by also giving you a huge round of applause. Kanto mamelampi, kanto engwe butlokwa, which is not being so well handled in other parts of the country. Issue of circumcision, I want to give Limpopo a big round of applause for Lisa, but Tankana ba, Hori, they must go and be circumcised. And Kamkana Bonaba Abua. More the province in Zeding, Abamui Kamkanabo. So I give you a round of applause. Mawani Kilekar, I just wish Ngali Chia, Luna, the traditional leaders of our province here, Kili Sedi province in Zeding. Lilo Baruta Hore, Hantle, Mushumo Ushubiwamia. Because there is just no need for the young boys of our country for circumcision. Ababua Kakubo Kapokalibokis. Limpopo has shown the way. And by the way, Keleleboka Hapo regarding elections, Kaneti Lebonsizo, Kele not Limpopo. Thank you very much.
All right, that was the ANC president there engaging with traditional leaders as well as faith-based leaders, the faith-based community in Limpopo. It's all in the build-up to the January 8th statement that takes place this Saturday. And talking about a number of issues, also very humble, saying